What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the 10-7 MMA show. We are back. Big Ankh is already in the comments. The King Usman is back. Let's go, guys. I cannot wait to talk about this fight. Well, the main event in particular. And just for the, you probably nobody realizes this, but I'm not in my normal setup. I'm actually in Minneapolis. And there was a couple of us that watched the fight here on Saturday, at least the main event. I also watched the co-main event too. That was a great fight as well. Rose Namajunas, what a legend. But I was so happy, and I feel like, and I really am curious to hear Justin's thoughts on this, so we may as well just jump right into the first topic. But I did pick Usman, and I've made like many bad picks, whatever you make picks, because I tend to pick with my heart. But I picked Usman, and you know, when I look back on it, dude, nobody had any good reasons for picking Buckley, except for this like imaginary theory that Usman was too old, right? Like, he had a great performance against Kamaru Usman, took 18 months off and came back. And I think he did the right.
Great performance against who? You said Kamaru Usman.
Sorry. He had a great performance against Khamzat. Sorry, I meant Khamzat Chimaev. That's right. It was a great performance against Khamzat Chimaev. And by the way, this again just bolsters Khamzat Chimaev's resume, I must admit. But anyways, I think it was all just made up fantasy. And Kamaru Usman's clearly the better fighter. I think the right outcome happened. Kamaru Usman showed that he still got it in spades. Justin, let me turn over to you because I really want to hear your thoughts as not only as a professional fighter, but also a wrestler.
How about as a Kamaru Usman fan, dude? I mean, here's the thing. Like we talked about yesterday, incredible fight. Kamaru Usman's the man. I'm a huge fan of him, man. I've had great interaction with him, memorable interaction. I've talked about it on the show before. But we have to look at longevity. He's 38 years old, man. He does have those knee injuries. And it goes back to is this the old Toby Keith? I ain't as good as I once was, but I can show up once, or I'm as good as once as I ever was. I need to see a little bit more out of him. I mean, his output was amazing. What I'm guessing is that he got the right cortisone shots in his knees, because we're talking about 13 minutes of control time. We're talking about 13 takedown attempts, securing 4 of them. That output in the welterweight division is so tough because these guys are so big and so strong, and their technique is so good. Even Buckley, I mean, Buckley's not known for his wrestling, but he is a super strong athlete. He's very explosive. He's athletic. That matters. And that needs to be taken in account, because I've already seen on, Instagram, people are like, oh, well, Buckley's not a wrestler. It's like, that doesn't matter. You know who else is not a wrestler? Kevin Lee. Kevin Lee wrestled at a low, I think he wrestled like NAIA, but he wasn't like a state champion in Michigan or anything. He was an above average wrestler. But with that being said, he's so strong and athletic. He's very, very hard to take down. And so don't let people, I don't want people to take away from what Usman did. He did something awesome, especially dealing with that. Again, with that being said, I'm going to go back to, I'm sure he had the right painkillers. You know, when I do think that matters. And if it's legal, it's legal, man. And I've taken cortisone shots, you know, after my neck surgery. I had a very stiff neck leading in. It was the fight you were in. And I fought in Commerce.
Yeah.
Taco, and hey, Taco's 3-0 now in the UFC, motherfucker.
Yeah, how crazy is that, dude?
Dude, I'm so disgusted. I'm not disgusted. I'm happy. I'm happy for him. He's a nice guy. It's a great opponent. We had some good moments in the cage, and like I said, the whole buildup was so respectful, and you know, it was a fun buildup for both of us, because we're both kind of subtly talking shit. But regardless, my neck was always sore the whole training camp, so I got cortisone shots in it, man, and I'm sure, and I felt like $1 million. Not taken away from anything. He beat my ass, or he didn't beat my ass, but he beat me. But I'm sure that, you know, something for Kamaru Usman to do what he did, and for as long as he got 13 minutes of control time, come on, bro. Do you know how hard it is to hold somebody down for 13 minutes, especially someone like Buckley?
Yeah, that's why I wanted to hear from you, because you know better than anybody. And by the way, that stat 4 of 13, it's sort of like that lower percentage because of the 5th round. And we definitely need to talk about the 5th round, because I heard MMA Guru being like, oh, now Buckley like figured out in the 5th round how to properly defend takedowns. It's like, dude, he was, I saw the comment from Izzy Slots. Great comment. But hey, we are accepting of everybody on the show, just to say, but yeah, funny comment nonetheless. But you know, if you go back to look at that 5th round, yeah, obviously Buckley's takedown defense started working better because Kamaru was probably tired. He was like wailing on him the entire fight. He was destroying him. So it's not like MMA Guru acts like, oh, the real Buckley showed up in the 5th round. It's like, no, obviously Kamaru Usman dominated him, is clearly a way better fighter. And yeah, he exhausted his gas tank because he was so dominant, And
I agree.
Now somebody said, hold on, I want to get your thoughts on this too. And you made a great video. You guys need to check out Justin's reaction video about Usman saying he was wrong, why he was wrong in terms of his prediction of Buckley winning. So you guys got to check that out. But MGAL4 Productions, we were talking about this last night on the phone, right? Usman is way better than Covington. Well, I think what it is, dude, look, we talked to your boy, right? I think it's Ayad, right? Who told us who's trained with Covington. I think we've heard this through the grapevine as well. Dude, Covington, I don't think is really training anymore. He left MMA Masters. He looks super out of shape in his fight against Buckley. If you go back and watch that fight, he was in terrible shape compared to how he normally looks. He lost his voice during the weight cut. Then on top of it, look at his appearance on The Ultimate Fighter. He looks like he's overweight. He has a belly, which I've never seen in my entire, Colby Covington's always been shredded. So I just don't I think he's checked out. And I think that's what made Buckley look so good. Everybody was so high on Buckley because he just thwarted all of Colby's takedowns, but it wasn't like the real Colby that we're accustomed to seeing. I mean, what do you think? Do you agree with me on that?
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, you get to a point in your career, it's like he's had like 3 title shots, right? He's 0-3. He's not getting a 4th. So if you don't have a chance at a world championship, what are you fighting for?
Yeah. And by the oh yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, he knows he's never getting a world championship so he's just collecting paychecks at the end of his career, man. And yes. And I tell you what, when you fall into that, and that happens to a lot of fighters, especially you look at Colby, regardless of how you feel about him. I don't like him. But he had a great career. Regardless, let's take our feelings out of it, take our emotions out of it.
You're right.
He had a great career. He fought for the title 3 times, came up short each time, but I mean, he was a dog. I mean, he showed with Usman, obviously he crossed the line a bunch, but I mean, it was a great fight. They were great fights. He took it too, but you're absolutely right. He doesn't have anything to fight for anymore. He's fighting for paychecks. That's why I think he's going off the edge so hard with shit talk, because he's like, fuck it. The more eyes I get on me in these last couple fights, the more money I'm going to make. So who really cares? Who wants to train? Who wants to go spar hard when I don't need to, when I can just go talk shit and build my pay that way? Dude, when you get to a point, like, I'm telling you, man, like where I'm at in my career, you can ask Roman, I hate sparring. I fucking hate it. I will do anything other than not to spar. Now, when I'm coming up on the scene, I'm sparring in the pro class, 5 rounds minimum twice a week with other pro fighters or UFC fighters. And some of these guys, Kevin Lee, for instance, is just terrible. Like he is throwing flying knees, kicks, knees, elbows. Like he'll pick you up, drop you on your head. He has no remorse. And I'm using Kevin because there's another guy. And they're really nice guys. And I don't want to expose them. I'll expose Kevin because everyone knows he's a fucking asshole in the gym, and him getting knocked out, I think that was deserved. But regardless, dude, you're fighting 10 rounds a week for free. You understand? That is not fun. Maybe when you're 25 years old, when you have the come up. But me, fuck, dude, I'll go to the amateur class and I'll spar fucking 10 rounds, feel good, not really lose any rounds. And but it's just not good enough. And that's what Colby, I feel, is in the same set. He doesn't want to put in the hard work. He doesn't want to put in the wrestling grind. So he's focused on his shit talking to get paid right now.
Okay, so I want to ask you a question because obviously I started training way later in life at 39. I've been training for about 6 years, and I pretty much only train Muay Thai, whatever. But from my perspective, again, I'm new to the game, and I don't spar hard. I spar light. But sparring is my favorite thing to do. And I imagine at some point you probably enjoyed sparring. What is it? Is it all sparring that you hate, or just wrestling, sparring, including takedowns? Like, do you still enjoy kickboxing? Is there any element of it that you liked? Or is
I wrestle every day. 4 days a week. I coach wrestling at Extreme Couture, as you know. So I'll get 2 or 3 hours of live wrestling. I don't drill anymore. I don't practice my technique anymore. But when the class goes live, grappling and wrestling, yes, I'll definitely do that. Because I'm telling you this, when you get hit, okay, for instance, Huzaifa, how about you and I spar 10 rounds? We'll go 5 rounds Tuesday, 5 rounds Thursday. And I'm not going to go 100%, but I'm going to let you know that I could finish you at any time. And I'd be hitting you in the body, maybe probably put you down with a body shot.
Oh, okay.
hurt your
That's
front
another
leg.
level. That's another level than what I do.
Of course, no, and I'm not discrediting what you do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I know.
I'm not discrediting, but
Yeah.
when in those pro classes, we're fighting. We're not. This isn't. Hey, you go, I go. Oh, hey, gotcha. No, this is guys. Like guys will. You'll get rocked. Guys will stumble, and guys will finish you. Like,
oh my God.
There are some they just did this smoker at the gym yesterday where they took like 8 amateur guys and they did 4 fights. 2 guys got brutally knocked out and face planted in the gym. 2 of them. Bro, like, it is not fun. I spar with amateurs. If I take any damage, I will have a headache almost 100%. Now, when I was younger, for one, I didn't get headaches. And I liked it. I like getting in there and fighting. I'll be honest. I'll be straight. And I was talking with Dennis about this. My whole mentality changed when I started smoking pot. I'll be honest. I really think I lost my edge. I really think I lost my edge. People are saying it's age, but I'm going to be honest, and I might make a video about it. I feel I lost my edge when I started smoking pot. I got too chill.
You should make a video about that because they talked about that on the Jackson pod with Kevin Lee and Rampage. We were talking back and forth because not Kevin Lee. What's his name? Kevin Holland. Kevin Holland he doesn't just smoke. He smokes all day. He's talking about smoking blunts. Like, he's crazy. And That's Rampage was like, dude, you shouldn't be doing that for multiple reasons. A lot of scientifically backed studies have shown, scientific studies have shown that it's actually really detrimental to your longevity, to your ability as a fighter, etc. So yeah, you should definitely make a video. I'd be curious about that. But I understand that. See, for me, when I'm always sparring, yeah, I've been like her. I told you that one time I thought I had a concussion and stuff like that. Like, I've been hit, but it's always like it's more of an accident, if anything. Like, we're always trying to spar to just get our reflexes good and take some shots so we're feeling it, but I'm never trying to finish anybody. Nobody, I don't think, is ever trying to finish me. So that's a totally different type of thing.
Me and Roman have tried to fuck each other up. Roman has this really annoying style. He's a very fat. He's blind. He fights like this. He's literally fucking blind. Izzy Slot, yeah, he's fucking blind. He got poked in his eye in training and he lost his vision 100%. And that's why he can't fight anymore.
Wait. In one eye, or you mean one eye he's blind?
One eye he's blind. He's 100% blind. Not like blurry vision. Like, you can't see on this side of his face.
Oh, dude. That's
so Izzy, I'm kind of exposed. Izzy Slots over here. But he has this really very awesome, like, Taekwondo style kickboxing to where he doesn't hit hard, but he's hitting me all the time. And then when I load, because I'm a power puncher, I load and I swing and I miss. And he like dances around like a little fucking bitch. And it pisses me off. So, like, I've tried to hurt him in training before, and I'm sure I've probably landed some good shots on him because he just tags me. And I know, and that's the other thing too. When you have someone like my style, I can't. So if you look at, like, I finish fights. I'm a power puncher. I knock motherfuckers out. All right. How can I simulate that in training? I can't.
Yeah, right.
I can't simulate that in training. I can't go try to knock Roman out every time I spar him. Like, that's it's so I'll start pulling punches, but now I'm getting hit more because guys aren't respecting my power because I can't hit them hard. Because when you hit somebody hard, they respect you and like, oh shit, I don't want to eat that again. But when you're just fucking pity patting, like, guys 3 times and they're sticking me, 3 times, and it should be my one shot to their 1 or 2 shots, but me landing the bigger one anyways. But you understand, it's a lot.
All right, guys, we got a bunch of comments and a lot of new people in the stream, so I want to shout some people out. Just put that funny thing from Izzy Slots, but John Dong, love the name. I don't know if I think you're new to the stream because I've never seen one of your comments in here, but he says, Johnny Monday, we travel from stream to stream. So Johnny Monday, if you brought John Dong, what a legend. Thank you. There's also a Johnny Monday comment way back that I wanted to highlight, just was waiting for a good time. He says, I have to disagree that Usman is way better than Prime Covington. Covington, when he was fighting, Usman was elite. No, I 100% agree. I'm not saying
I agree.
Usman is way better than Prime Covington. I was saying it shows the difference now. I think Covington was just a shell of himself when he fought Buckley. He himself, I mean, you never know what to believe with Colby because he's just always lying. But he said that he got up off the couch and it showed. He looked, like I said, rewatch. his post weight cut interview, he could barely talk. He looked like he was on death's doorstep.
Didn't he have Chael talking for him at one point?
Chael was with him, but he was talking during the interview, but he looked really bad. And then if you look at him in the fight and compare that to any other fight you've seen, like, he's definitely not trying. He's probably going to maybe take 1 or 2 more fights. I think he's going to try to transition to WWE. So Giant Monday, I'm just saying, I 100% agree with you. Big Onk says even Wonder Boy was beating Buckley until the KO. I need to rewatch that fight.
I just watched it the other day. It was on Instagram.
And we're going to talk about the future of the welterweight division, because I don't know if people remember we were saying that we thought the UFC wanted Buckley to win, and maybe that was the case. But this is such a better outcome, because think about this. If Buckley would have won, dude, the top of the division is so crammed. Now we have so many amazing things that can happen with Buckley. Now Buckley's going to drop down in the rankings, and there's a lot of fun fights for him. There's an amazing fight that somebody mentioned for Buckley next, which I want to talk to you about as well. But hold on, let me go through a couple more comments. Lane is also in here. Usman looked as good as he ever has.
You might not be there yet. Yeah, it looks like we have a new subscriber, Jack.
Oh, okay. I'm going to get to that. Yeah.
Okay,
but check this out. Usman looks as good as he ever has. Bro's not yet. Dude, he looked incredible. People, again, I'm just like so mad about all the negative. And even Usman talked about him pound for pound today. He's like, dude, I was getting so much hate. Everybody counted me out. All the comments were about my knees. I can't do anything. He's like, I had to show people that people literally forgot that I can wrestle. So I had to show people that I could still wrestle. I mean, the whole thing was amazing. And then on top of it, Usman got so emotional during the post-fight presser. He cried multiple times. And like, I love that, man. He even said there was something going on with his daughter. He didn't get into details, but like, my daughter couldn't be here. That's another story. Like, you could see that the dude has been battling demons. 3 losses in a row, 3 losses in a row. Granted, they're all at the highest level, 2 title fights. And then Khamzat Chimaev, who, as I've mentioned, I know Johnny Monday will disagree with me, but as I've mentioned, who I think is the toughest fight in the UFC. So this just shows, like, look, he's still got it. Just because you lose to Khamzat Chimaev doesn't mean anything, right? There's so many amazing fighters. Look what happened to Robert Whittaker, et cetera, et cetera. But anyways, okay, so you said Jack. We got another thing. S107, my G, what's good? Not much, dude. Just couldn't wait to do this show today because we got a million things to talk about, which is super cool. And your boy John Muttball is back. Justin used to talk smack on people that smoke the jazz cabbage. Yeah,
true.
Well, look how times change. I probably did too at one point. Johnny Monday responded and said, "Thanks for reading my comment, Jose, but I was responding to M." Oh, got it. Yeah. Okay, fair enough. I thought you were referring to me. No worries. Okay, now let's move it along, because after we see this amazing fight, we see this incredible performance. Yeah, sure. I think Buckley's maybe got some holes in his game. Maybe not. I mean, he's fighting Usman, who's one of the most elite wrestlers. So it's maybe not even a matter of him having holes, but just Usman being that good. But this gets us to the next question. And this is why I'm so excited with this current outcome. What's next for both of these guys? So before I tell you, I want to talk about Buckley first, and we'll talk about Usman. Before I tell you what I think is the perfect next fight for Buckley, I want to hear your thoughts. Who do you think Buckley should fight next in the welterweight division?
I don't know. You go first.
Okay. All right.
I'm looking up the top 10 right now.
I think I've got an ultimate. Whoa, we got a raid. We're at 37 concurrents. Who's rating us right now? We got all these people in the stream. What's up, everybody? This is the highest concurrent we've ever had. This is huge.
Way higher. I mean, our last was like 19.
Oh my God. Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. We got people saying, I hate John Jones. We don't talk about John Jones on the stream. And by the way, if you guys are new and you like what you see, make sure to click subscribe. We're making content on the daily. We have 46 concurrents right now. What's good, everybody? But yes, okay. So I'm going to tell you my pick next, and you guys chime in the comments if you agree. What's up, Rafi? He's back. If you guys agree, here's the ultimate fight. Ready? Buckley rematch Kevin Holland, because Kevin Holland is on a tear. Kevin Holland beat him. Kevin Holland, I think, is ranked number 10 right now. Buckley's might drop a little bit from 7 to maybe 8, maybe 9. It's the fight to make. These guys talk major trash. Let's see what goes down with new and improved Kevin Holland. Justin, what do you think?
I love it. I mean, the buildup in that fight would just be awesome. Buckley, I mean, he just sounds so stupid when he's talking trash, but Kevin Holland is so witty. And I think it'll just be a roast session for Kevin Holland.
Agreed.
I think Buckley, with how he talks, that he's just going to serve up lob pitches for Kevin, and Kevin's just going to slap him out of the park. He's going to put this guy into depression with how bad he ruins the mentality. And with the momentum Kevin Holland has right now, if he puts Buckley away, that shoots him into the top 8 maybe. And now we have this resurgence from Kevin Holland, the people's champion, the guy that calls out Rampage on his own podcast. Kevin Holland, I love Kevin Holland. I love listening to him on the mic. I think he's really intelligent. I think he's an incredible fighter, and I really think if he buckles down for the next year or two, he could be a contender in the weight class.
Absolutely. This would be such a great fight. By the way, I need to remind everybody who's on the stream right now, if you're liking it, please click that like button. It helps the channel grow so much. So for a lot of you guys who are new here, we've had this channel for 2.5 years. We have been grinding like crazy. It's been growing a lot in the last 6 months in particular. So if you could like the stream, we'd really appreciate it. Thank you, everybody new who's joining on right now. But absolutely, I think he would 100% crack that. Well, go up, and potentially how he finishes Buckley could also propel him further up the ranks. But I think it's exciting, and Kevin Holland is so good for this division. So that's my pick. Is there anybody else that you'd rather see him fight or like to see him fight if Kevin Holland is not the fight to make?
I mean, there's names that he could walk over. We're talking like Jeff Neal, Neil Magny. Kevin Holland, it looks like he's ranked number 7th right now. I'm not sure how up to date these.
No, Kevin Holland, I think is 10th. Are you 10th? Sure?
Okay. I'm looking at it right now. I mean, I can screen share, but
hold on. Let me look this up. I thought Buckley was 7th. Hold on. Let me double check.
I found a better website.
Hold on. I'm looking too. Here we go.
Buckley 7. Yeah, you're Buckley 7.
Yeah, Buckley 7. Oh, I'm so sorry. Kevin Holland is 14. Oh my God. I thought he was 10 for some reason. I totally misremembered that. Yeah. So Kevin Holland is 14. And by the way,
14 to 7. I think that's more than adequate, especially with the resurgence he's been having lately.
And John Dong is asking, are you the Huzaifa from MMA Joey stream? That's right. Thank you for joining. I really appreciate it. That is me from MMA Joey. I'm a huge fan of MMA Joey. We got so many comments. We're going to try and bust through a couple, and then we're going to come back through to talk about what's next for Kamaru Usman. Denzo might be new to the stream. What's up? What's up? He said, Hamzat, DDP. Let's go. I agree with you, my friend. Johnny Monday is going to disagree with that. But yes, the Charles Ilya, man, I was picking Charles. I'm switching my pick to Ilya, but we could talk about that later. I disagree with the Holloway Poirier. I think Poirier wins. That's my opinion. Duan Ellen says Kevin is 4570. Let's go. I love that 4570 reference. Musical MMA says John Dong correct. We'll go through a couple more comments. Hey, we got a donation. What's up? Thank you from Jim Miller.
Thank you, Mr. Miller.
He said, Jim Miller was never my friend. Just 79 cents. Oh, yeah, no comment, just a donation. Thank you, my friend. We appreciate the donations. Thank you so much. Buck versus Cuck. He wants Ian Gary. I mean, I would be down for that, but he lost. I don't know if he could get that Ian Gary fight anymore.
Ian Gary's not getting that. Ian Gary's he's fought way too tough competition to drop that far down and fight a guy that's going to be ranked maybe 10th now after this loss.
I agree. Who would win at middleweight, Prime Usman or Anthony Hernandez? What do you think, Justin?
I don't know who Anthony Hernandez is.
I don't think I know who that is either. I'm embarrassed. I thought maybe you did. Dang it. But I'm going to say Prime Usman anyways because he's a legend. A fan of Joey, he said. Yeah, I'm a fan of Joey. Why do people not like MMA Joey? He does his research. He's really knowledgeable about the sport. I don't understand why. I get that. We get those. Every time I bring up MMA Joey, we get these comments on the videos. I don't understand. I feel like you guys who don't like him need to give him a chance and listen. He's a super dialed in fan. Yeah, look, again, Dan B, MMA Joey, I'm out. I don't get it.
A lot of haters, man. I hope we don't get this kind of hate.
MMA Joey's good. Okay. And Johnny Monday, one more comment, and then we're going to get back to the convo about Usman. I want to see Buckley versus Colby too. What? You really want to see that? Do you want to see that, Justin?
Not really. I mean, it's going to be the same outcome. Colby's just going to talk shit to him, and then he's going to get his ass whooped again.
I think, yeah, I 100% agree. I don't know. Okay, let's move on to talk about Usman. All right. So, who do you want to see next for Usman? I, of course, have an answer. If you want me to go first, I can, or you can take it away.
Go right ahead. I'm looking at the.
I mean, I know Usman kind of blew it off in the post-fight presser. People were asking him, and he was pretending like he didn't know who Bilal Muhammad was and whatever. But, like, why not take that? He said he wants to wait for the winner of Islam versus JDM, which I'm also down for, by the way. And I think he deserves it. And obviously, he's a legend of the sport. People have just forgotten, but Usman is a legend. He still got it. So I'm okay with that. But I feel like the Bilal fight would be so sweet if he's down to take it. The Smack Talk, the podcast where they had the fight in the middle of the whole episode and everything like that. There's just such a good story. And if the UFC can make the money right, they can headline a fight, maybe even put some pay-per-view points for both of them, both former champs. I think it's incredible. That's what I'd love to see. But what about you?
Yeah, I like the Bilal. I see he's already calling him out on Instagram and stuff. So, I mean, there is already build up for that. But, man, for Usman, that's a really tough matchup. I mean, you're talking about another heavy wrestler. It's going to be a lot better than Buckley. And, again, it just goes back to, hey, was this a fluke? Was this a fluke instance? Bilal would answer that question immediately. If the fight was close, obviously it wasn't a fluke. But Bilal, being former champion, the trash talk you talk about, the post or the pre-fight build up, I think it'd be great. I like this matchup. But why is nobody talking about Sean Brady? Why is nobody talking about Sean Brady?
Good question.
Like Usman, Sean Brady would be a good one too.
Yeah, that's fair. You're right. I don't even know why he doesn't come to mind for some reason.
He doesn't come to mind to anybody, man. Yeah. And he's on a killer win streak right now. He's looking fantastic. Like Usman and Sean Brady, I wouldn't mind seeing that, especially if they're going to do, because if there's going to be a hold into the weight class, we need to start adjusting these rankings because everyone can't just sit stagnant while we wait to see what happens between Islam and JDM.
The thing is there's no heat to it, in my opinion. On top of that, I feel like Sean Brady, it would be an even potentially a tougher or just as tough as a matchup as Bilal, but there's no heat to it. There's no rivalry. So like, I don't know. I
get it.
You know what I mean?
I'm just thinking like deserving. I'm just thinking of deserving because dude, he's on a killer. He's on a killer right now.
I agree with you there. Oh yeah, then we saw Shavkat waiting in the wings. Like yeah, it's a division. The 170 division is the most insane right now that I've ever seen a division. I've never seen a division where there's like 7 people that you could justifiably put in a title shot. And then on top of that, you got Islam moving up.
What about Ian Gary?
Yeah, Ian Gary, Shavkat waiting in the wings, trying to get his knee, back to perfect health. Sean Brady could be a great one. Usman could be a great one. I mean, it's just ridiculous the line we have in the welterweight division. Very exciting. Okay, one more comment, and then we're going to move on to the next topic. We got a lot more to talk about. I'm big on Sean Brady. He's coming for the belt. Yeah, man, like I said, it's almost confusing how stacked the welterweight division is. Okay, let's move on to the co-main event. I know maybe I didn't hear that many people talking about it, but Rose Namajunas, I thought, put on a clinic. I thought she did a tremendous job. I thought her striking looked really, really solid. I think she won 28-27. I can't remember the final scorecards, but Justin, I just want to turn over to you first. What did you think of Rose's performance? How does she look to you at 125?
I'm gonna be honest, I don't really like Rose. I didn't see the fight. This is a fight I got up and went to the bathroom for. I'll be honest, I don't really like watching Rose. Okay. I'm not going to say a bad experience with her, but I don't really care for her as a person. So like, really? I don't support her. I don't like to, when she fights, I turn it off. I won't get into it because it's personal. Okay. But she's somebody I don't support. And when I'm trying to think, she had a fight a couple years ago where it was like 3 punches thrown the whole time. And, I don't know, man. I have my personal issues with Rose, so I don't support her.
Okay, I totally get that. I'd love to know the backstory, but we're not going to do that.
I'll give you the backstory.
You give it to me later. Okay, all right. I didn't know that there was
But her boyfriend is awesome. Pat Barry is one of the nicest guys. I met him a couple times at the Invicta fights when I was cornering some Invicta fighters, and he remembered me and he remembered my son, which was even more important. And he was able to say, "Hey, what's up, Ben?" And so that meant a lot to me. So Pat Barry is awesome, but Rose, I'm not a fan.
By the way, Muttball, I'm so sorry. Muttball sent us a donation. It's our second donation of the stream. So sorry about that. I just missed it. I apologize. I'm a #1 fan. If you disagree, beat my donation, or you're the Kobe to my oh man, that's amazing. All right, yeah, guys, the gauntlet has been thrown down. If you guys want to have a dono war, Musical MMA says cozy MMA. Not sure what that means. Almost had a sub, LOL. Lane, what do you mean? Were you about to sub? I assume you're already subbed. I don't know what you're referring to. Let's see. We got a couple more comments. Definitely bathroom break fight. Dude, it's so funny. You guys go to the back. But honestly, if you do get a chance to rewatch it, Rose's striking looked really, really good. So I actually did enjoy it. A couple more comments, and then we'll just move on. Usman versus Bilal, says Rafi.
I like that. Yeah, I like that, actually. I was thinking that prior to him saying it. I do like that.
They got to do it. They got to do it. And we got to do Buckley versus Kevin Holland. 45-70 versus the Buck. Let's go. Amazing trash talk. Big Onk does say, if they did Jasmine versus Rose right now, Jasmine wins easily. Jasmine Divinius or something I think you're talking about. I can't remember her exact last name. Oh, Jim Miller's back. Was there, my friend? Who do you guys think wins versus Van versus Royval? Oh, yeah, I saw that matchup. I don't honestly know enough about Van to give an educated answer just yet, but I'll go back and watch some of his previous fights and I can maybe put a better answer together for you. And then Leandro says, y'all hating on a real thug. Rose Namajunas. Thug Rose. Yeah, maybe a little bit. Hope. Sorry about that. Okay, let's move on to number 4. Now, we talked about this fight on Friday. And basically Justin was saying, hey, they're leading a lamb to slaughter, more or less. The odds were like minus 900. And this guy, Wellmaker, I mean, he's undefeated. His undefeated streak continues. Wild. I mean, did you see the knockout highlight?
Of course.
Whew.
Yeah.
Insane. Okay, but there's so many things to talk about here. Okay. So Chris Moutinho gets smoked, as Justin predicted. I mean, I think so. It wasn't really a surprise to him. Probably not a huge surprise to other people, but it was a surprise to me. Call me a casual if you will. But Moutinho took damage from Sean O'Malley, almost like never-ending damage for 3 rounds, continuously, did not get dropped. Wellmaker dropped him with an amazing shot. I think it was a right hook. I can't remember. Yeah. He dropped him. It was so hard. So what is this? Like, what are we to make of this? I mean, can we even use this to compare Wellmaker to Sean O'Malley? Is that an unfair comparison since the fight was years apart? I mean, like, Justin, what are your thoughts about that comparison?
Well, I mean, it's hard to compare power because, you just can land that one great shot, just the one that turns the brain off. And we're not going to, but it's a different kind of striking. Wellmaker has powerful striking, big overhands, big hooks, when he's turning his hip over. O'Malley's a sniper from afar. His power is his straight punches. So it's a different punching style. I feel with the hooks and stuff like that. I think it was a right hook or an overhand right that clipped him. I just feel that's just a more powerful shot in general, especially when you can land it the way he did.
But I mean, O'Malley landed it was something ridiculous. It was like 200 significant strikes. I don't even remember the number, but it was like
a lot of it was on top of the head too, because his head was ducked. And he's taking a lot of damage. We're talking about the top of the, people always joke that, I don't have very good head movement and I take a lot of damage in fights, which isn't true. I actually don't. That's why I've only been knocked out once, because I roll my shoulders up almost, pinch my traps together, and I have a natural barrier, like a shell around my head. My shoulders are protecting my jaw. My hands are protecting. I'm always looking like I'm looking out binoculars here. So I very rarely ever, I'm very susceptible to things up the middle, like teep kicks, knees, and uppercuts. But when it comes to overhands and hooks, those don't really affect me very much. You know what I'm saying? So it's again, all the damage I'm taking is I'll put my head down and I'll almost tuck my chin to my chest here. And now I'm like a turtle in a shell, and all this damage I can take on the top of the head, it's like punching a rock. I got freaking rocks in my head, and that's why I can take so much damage in fights. But you get clipped on the chin, you get hit like Wellmaker did. I mean, if he didn't hit him in the top of the head, he hit him, just blasted, fucking almost knocks his head off.
It was crazy. Like, you see the lights go out in his face. Like, it was such a hard shot. We got a couple comments about Wellmaker. MGal4 Production says Wellmaker butchered him. I mean, it was wild, insane. Big Onk. This is the thing that I was getting at, but I guess it's not a fair comparison. He says Wellmaker better striker than O'Malley. Am I crazy to say that I want to see Wellmaker versus O'Malley? Is that a ridiculous thing to say? Maybe not next fight, but like down the line.
Yeah, why would it be ridiculous? It's going to be a striker's delight. Wellmaker's not going to try and take him down. He's going to try and knock his head off. And Sean O'Malley better play range well.
And Wellmaker's undefeated. I mean, I don't know. Let's see what happens. Izzy Slots, your boy, says, love his striking style. Leandro, that's a Namajunas comment. We're going to move past the Namajunas discussion. Well, no, let me read it anyways. We said Namajunas holds the blicky sideways. Well, what the heck is this? Okay, I don't know what that means exactly. I'm just going to move on from that. MGal4 Production says, talk about Bellato. We're going to talk about it. It's on the topic list. It's coming up. Don't worry. And I heard Big John talk about it, and I'm really curious to know your thoughts on what Big John said about it. But yeah, we're definitely going to talk about Bellato. Johnny Monday says Moutinho is still a legend despite the KO loss. He is a legend, man. He comes in short notice every time. He's tough as nails, and he gets the job done for the UFC. I hope they don't cut him after this. I hope they at least give him a couple more fights because he's fun. I recognize the name, and I want to tune in, and I want to see what happens when he fights. So, I mean, I don't know if you agree or disagree. Tehran says Wellmaker versus Garbrandt should be next.
No, I don't think so. I think Garbrandt, he needs an easy fight, man. I mean, he's 3-7 in his last 10. I mean, he's just sending him to slaughter. It's definitely not the time or position.
I'm with you. It's not, that fight does not intrigue me either. Matthew says, sorry I'm late, but what do y'all think about the overall main card? Yeah, I mean, I thought there was some interesting matchups. We're going to talk about, I think, was that Bellato fight on the main or the prelims? I can't remember. But, I mean, look, the main thing that I was excited about this card, if you're talking about last weekend, I could not wait for Usman versus Buckley, and I think it delivered in spades. I was so happy with the entire – dude, people were booing at some point. Oh, yeah, no worries. People were booing at some points when Usman had him on the ground. The crowd, I don't understand the crowd sometimes. I thought the entire fight was exciting. I thought Usman was staying busy and active with the ground and pound. So I loved the main event. I thought there were other fights on that card that were interesting as well, even on the prelims as we're talking about. Wellmaker versus Moutinho was a cool fight. So, yes, overall, I would say if we're just talking about the main fight, the main event, I thought it was awesome. Wellmaker versus Rayoni, I can't remember how to pronounce the name, Barcelos. Okay, I could be down with that too. But yeah, I definitely will be tuning in next time Wellmaker fights. That is absolutely for sure. Okay, what we're going to move to next, since people are calling it out, is let's move down to this fight, Paul Craig versus Bellato. And then we'll go back to Jamahal Hill versus Khalil Rountree preview after this. So here's the situation, right? And obviously, I think, Justin, you talked to me right after it. And as a fighter, I think you were pissed off. I think a lot of people were pissed off. And Joey made a video about how mad he was at Bellato for clearly flopping. People were saying, hey, I like Aljo. I'm not saying this, but people were saying, oh, wow, Bellato must have gotten acting lessons from Aljamain Sterling or whatever. That was a totally different scenario. What Bellato did, I think, was like hardcore, terrible acting, where he was like, gesturing to the ref, then pretending he was knocked out, then pretending to wrestle with the ref. I mean, it was like the whole thing was bizarre. Before we get into what happened and whether it was the right call, the wrong call, regardless of the acting, Justin, let me turn it over to you as a fighter who's been in the UFC, fought at the highest levels. Was that 100% acting in your opinion? And if so, why?
Of course. Told you yesterday, man. I mean, because here's what happens is he gets kicked in the head. It hurt. Obviously, he knows it's a foul. He looks at the ref. Hey, what the fuck? And then realizes, has an epiphany. Hey, if I go down, I win this fight. Unfortunately, it didn't play out the way he thought. You know, I listened to an interview of his, and he's like, he says it was a delayed knockout. He says that he remembers looking at the ref, and then it was a delayed knockout, and he genuinely was knocked out. And then when he came back through, he was wrestling with the ref. I've never heard of that. All right. I've never heard of the old delayed knockout. Like that's not, I don't believe that's a real thing. You are knocked out or you're not. You don't fucking get cracked and then 5 seconds. It's not how it works, man. So this guy's a joke. He's had problems. I guess in the past, the UFC cut this guy. He's bad for the division.
Oh, he's had problems with that? Okay, wait. I want to see if I can find this interview. I didn't hear about this where he said that he...
And I'm paraphrasing, of course. It's something along those lines.
Dang it, I just looked for it on YouTube. I couldn't find it, but that's crazy. Because I'd love to look at his facial expressions to see if it looks obvious that he's just BSing and he's scared to get caught or whatever. But
it was like, yeah. it was I read it. Like it was a quote that he said during one of his...
Andrew Nance goes, Bellato would be a good fit in the WWE. Yo, there's his audition tape. Just take that clip, send it to the WWE, and he's in for sure. You know what's funny, though? Big John, we're going to talk about what Big John McCarthy said now, but, oh, wait. Izzy Slot says, yeah, delayed KOs are something where you're really, really hurt you'd be unconscious. Oh, got it. Yeah, fair enough. Delayed KO up there with pseudo seizure. What's going on? Shout out to, what was that, Macy Barber, right? I can't remember who had that pseudo seizure, but
yeah, Andrew Nance says what his last problem with the UFC was. I can't remember. I don't know how it played out, but it's something to do with having herpes or something.
Oh, I see that. Yeah. So here's what Big John said. Now, Big John, and this is the part where I was like, man, Big John is really giving him a lot of leeway here. He's like, hey, man, the brain does funny things when you're knocked out or when you have a concussion or whatever. And like that, I understand. But that's why I want to get your opinion as a fighter, because like I can't comment. I've never been in that situation. But you're saying clear as day that was acting. Okay, fine. But here's the thing that Big John said. He's like, look, everybody wants to get mad at Bellato and say he acted and whatever. But he's like, none of that matters. He was like, there was an illegal upkick. So he's like, when Paul Craig decided to throw an illegal upkick to a grounded opponent, that's that. It's a wrap, regardless of the acting, regardless of whatever. So he's like, the no contest or a DQ could have been warranted, but the no contest, you can't argue with it. What's your opinion on that take, Justin? Because we also saw up kicks. If you remember from Juliana Pena, that was like the only shot she landed against Kayla Harrison. We saw up kicks there, but nothing happened. I think, no, not something happened. She got a point taken away, but then the fight continued on and it got to play out. So what are your thoughts on Big John being like, hey, the no contest or even a DQ is fair because Paul Craig knowingly committed that foul?
Well, I don't think Paul Craig in his head like, hey, I want to commit a foul right now. The guy was up on one foot, on one knee. Paul Craig probably thought he was on both feet. He made a mistake. But here's the thing. If you're able to continue as a fighter, as an athlete, you're expected to continue. Now, if you're compromised, yeah, sure, don't continue. It's a DQ. But you know what I mean? It's I don't know, man. I don't know. I think it's just a sportsman thing. Like, dude, hey, it's an illegal, take a point away. All right, I get penalized because it was an illegal shot. But if you're physically able to continue, which I think Bellato was until he tried to flop, because if you get knocked out and you can't continue, like you're knocked out, it's a DQ. But if you can continue, you're expected to continue.
Fair. 100%.
That's why it matters. That's why it matters. Because it looks like he's like, hey, what the heck? No, oh, wait, I'm out. You know what I mean? Like, watch the video. It's silly. It's silly as fuck.
No, I watched it multiple times. It's insane. Okay, no, I think you nailed it perfectly. Yeah, it's very weird that Big John was taking that stance and that perspective. But and I'll send you the clip. Maybe you can make a reaction video to it because it was interesting. But I think you nailed it on the head. That was what was expected.
If he would have went down and been like holding his face, like fuck, but just stayed conscious the whole time, everyone would have bought that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like. This whole thing, and then he like rushes over the cage. Listen, let me tell you this. When you're knocked out, and I'm speaking from experience because I was knocked out in a fight last year.
Yeah.
You don't come through thinking like, oh, defend. Like I shouldn't say that. There are circumstances to that.
I guess.
But a lot of times you don't, I don't know, man. It's just the whole thing was goofy. Like I've never seen anybody get knocked out and move so fast. Like, and he had perfect shrimping technique, but hands his hand out, starts fishing for De La Hiva on the referee. Like, what the fuck? Like, it's silly, man. I think
we need to, let's create a GoFundMe so he can get acting lessons. So he can doesn't have to be so over the top next time. Maybe it'll play a little bit better. All right. Well, anyways, a lot of people are calling out in the chat to talk about that. So glad we got to talk about that. Izzy Slots, let's read through a couple comments. Oh, he says unintentionally illegal, not intentional intentional is DQ win. I mean, how do you say it's intentional or not? That's the part that confuses me. I feel like it's such a fine line, but maybe that's a conversation for another day. Lane says bro flopped worse than LeBron. Yeah, I think so. And up kick should have been a point. Yeah, you're 100% right, Lane. I think that's exactly what Justin's take is. Yep, it looks staged, to be honest. Yeah, I mean staged meaning you mean by Bellato, not by the UFC, right? But yeah, I agree. That was super weird. Should they rematch? No, don't make them rematch. But I don't know. I don't even want to see Bellato go again. Or maybe I do. Maybe I'm kind of curious to see what his next acting play will be. And there we go. And Izzy Slot says you have a couple horses behind you. That's right. All right, let's move on to the final topic. Topic number 5. I know we skipped ahead to number 6, but let's go here. We got your boy Jamahal Hill fighting this Saturday. I feel like we've had some really good main events back to back. Kamaru Usman, Buckley. Now we got Jamahal Hill versus Khalil Rountree. And I want to start by saying I think we're both probably picking Khalil Rountree. That's my guess, even though I know Jamahal Hill's your boy. Maybe I'm wrong about that. But MMA Guru said something really interesting on his podcast appearance with Mighty Mouse, Demetrius Johnson. And I want to get your take on this, Justin. He said he's actually leaning towards picking Jamahal Hill because he said one thing that people don't give Jamahal Hill credit for is just his grit and his toughness, that he's tougher than a lot of guys in that division, just in terms of like powering through shots or injuries or whatnot. Let me turn over to you. Number one, do you agree? And number two, does that push you to pick Jamahal Hill in this fight?
No. I think Rountree got a taste of what almost being a champion was like, and he's still hungry, man. I think he knows that he has to beat the former champ. I think he knows that he has to beat Jamahal Hill. And one thing with Rountree is he's getting, every time he fights, he looks much improved from the time before that.
For sure.
And, you know, I think he's going to take this loss to Alex Pereira, and he's going to take it to heart and you know, solidify to himself that isn't going to happen anymore. And, you know, Jamahal Hill was so focused on, you know, Pereira for so long, and the whole Herb Dean incident, that I feel he lost. I mean, we've talked about it before. I just feel like his head wasn't in the right position. When Rountree's head is always about getting better, and his improvements in between fights is like nobody else in the division.
I've said this many times. I think I even made a video about it at one point, maybe got like 50 views back in December, so nobody really saw it. But my favorite fight of 2024, hands down, and as much as a Hamzat fan as I am, but I mean, he smoked Robert Whittaker so quickly, it's hard to compare. But my favorite fight from start to finish was Khalil Rountree versus Alex Pereira. One of the most incredible fights, and half the reason it was so incredible was because Khalil Rountree's incredible performance in rounds 1 and 2, and his toughness to stand as long as he could in rounds 3 and 4 when Alex Pereira was destroying him. So it was like, man, I became a really, really big fan of Khalil Rountree in that fight. And of course, like I like all aspects of MMA, but I do appreciate good Muay Thai, obviously. And Khalil Rountree showed tremendous striking and tremendous Muay Thai, did not back down. He came in as a pretty big underdog and showed some real skill and prowess. So I'm a massive fan of Khalil Rountree. I am leaning towards him again as well in this fight, but it's going to be a great fight. It's going to be a stand-up banger of a fight. Let's see what Khalil Rountree, what Jamahal Hill does as a game plan. Do you think Jamahal Hill is going to mix in some wrestling?
No, it's not his style. He's not known to do that. He's going to come out. He's going to try to snipe from a distance, and I think Rountree is just going to blitz him and pressure him and chop his front leg off and just be brutal with his Muay Thai. Rountree has some of the best Muay Thai in the division. Jamahal Hill has incredible boxing. He has very accurate, powerful boxing. Knocked a lot of guys out, man. If you guys remember, one of my favorites knockouts, Johnny Walker. Oh, that was where his arms went out to the side. It was the weirdest thing I've ever seen, but just goes to talk about the power, you know, Jamahal Hill has. But I think Rountree is just going to overwhelm him.
All right, we got a couple comments that I want to read. A lot of comments today. So Muttball says, you two should do a stream where you debate a bracket of 64 fighters in their prime and debate who would win till only one person is left and chop it up into videos. That's like, what's that? Highlander. It reminds me of Highlander. You know, only one can survive at the end. We talk through all that. That could be interesting. All right, thanks for the suggestion, Muttball. Appreciate it. Hill is plus 135. Oh, the odds are close. The odds are very close. All right, this is going to be a great fight. Maybe I'll put some money on Rountree.
I think Izzy Slots is right.
Let's see. Izzy Slots. Ooh, wow. Hill should be plus 450. Dude, that means we should put some money on Rountree.
I'm going to.
Yeah, I'm trying not to get like too much into betting too regularly because I don't want to go there.
You can't win if you don't bet.
I know, but dude, it's just like I already love the sport so much. Like it doesn't really add that much to it. Like when Sean O'Malley, I put money on him to win, but that's because I wanted him to win. But it wasn't like I don't even think or even losing the money. It wasn't even. And again, I'm betting like I'm betting pretty conservatively, but it doesn't add that much excitement. Like I think I would have been just as excited without putting money on it if Sean O'Malley had won, just because I was so invested in the fight. But
I don't even like to watch sports without betting.
Oh wow! Okay.
Even if I go live, even if I go watch a hockey game and I'm not even into hockey, I have to put $100 on something, or it's not interesting to me.
See, I don't want to get to that point. I love the sport, so I'm not going to bet. I'm not going to bet this weekend. All right, Lane says Khalil earned a lot of respect versus Alex, in my opinion. True warrior. Muttball says Rountree is a class act. Won me over on Rogan, and while I don't think he's the best, I will root for him no matter the fight. Learns, humbles, and fights hard. He absolutely fights hard. Let's go through a couple more comments before we close out. Like, share. 2.13 Yay, that means we got some subs during the stream. Let's go, because we were at 2129 when we started. Guys, we've had so much growth in the last 6 months. It's been such a pleasure to do the show, to make content on the regular. And so we've just been enjoying it more and more and more. This channel is so important to us, and we're having so much fun with it. So we just want to say, yeah, I know we only got 11 people left on the stream right now, but to everybody who's stuck around and been there from the beginning, thank you so much. Actually, let's shout some people out. Lane, Teron Brown, Izzy Slots, obviously your boy, Andrew Nets. We got another donation from Andrew Nets. Bro, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. We've had 3 donos today. I know that it might not seem like a lot if you look at other streams. For us, this is a record. This is the most donos we've ever gotten from 3 different people in the history of the show. And look,
6 online at once too.
Like, we had over 50 people online at once, but all these little milestones, I always make a point in my life to celebrate all the little victories along the way. When we hit 1,000 subs, when we hit 500 subs, I do try and take time and pause and reflect. And hey, some people may say, hey, remember, Justin, you were saying like, hey, some people might think you only have 2,000 subs, that's nothing. But again, the journey, the way we've done it, I feel like we've done everything the right way, just by trying to get better each and every day at putting on a better show, making better content. So I'm really proud of it. I think Justin shares my enthusiasm, is also just as proud. So we just want to thank everybody for joining. Let's name some more names. Obviously, Johnny Monday. Always appreciate the discussion back and forth. I know we disagree about Hamzat, but thank you. Big Ankh MMA showed up today. Obviously, Western OG from way back, Rafi.
Celine.
What's that? Who else?
Celine, Mudball.
Celine. I don't think Celine's on today, but Celine, you know that we really appreciate your participation and you showing up on the regular. If I've missed, oh man, hold on, I don't want to miss anybody. Who else from our regular crew is on here? Rafi, one second. I'm going back to the top before we close out. MGAL4 Productions, obviously, always in the mix. Thank you again for being a part of the show. All right. We are getting to that time where we are about to close out the show. I just want to say thank you guys so much for joining. Johnny Monday says, great show, and thanks for the engagement. Absolutely. We're trying our best. And if there's anything that we can do better, any other videos that you want to see, any other topics that you want us to talk about, let us know. Western says, chimes in at the end, I'm always here just listening at work. Let's go. Thank you, Western. Western might be the first. I don't know. I think it was our first. It was like just Western back in the day. What a legend. And we got a quick comment. Andrew says, great show as always, y'all boys, killing it. We grown. Yes, we are grown. And what do you guys think of MVP versus Cannonier? I heard about this. We'll talk. How about this, Justin? Let's talk about MVP versus Cannonier on Friday. Apparently, there's a rumor, or maybe it was confirmed, that Cannonier was threatened to be cut or something if he didn't fight MVP. I don't know if you heard about this, but we'll talk about this on Friday. But anyways, thank you guys so much for joining. We appreciate it as always. Last but not least, check out Justin's video about apologizing to Usman. I think it's a really good video, and he lays it out very clearly what he thinks is in store for Usman, the questions he has about him going forward because of his age, etc. Thank you so much, and we will see you in the next video. Take it easy.